Next news. Breaking news from the White House.
Some breaking news. Shots fired just steps from the White House. Secret Service agents spotted an armed suspect near the perimeter. They move in, and according to officials, that suspect runs and opens fire. Agents fire back. Suspect goes down. A juvenile bystander is hit and then rushed for treatment. The White House complex is locked down. And here's the part every American should be asking right now. Why does it feel like Washington is turning into a pressure cooker all over again? This is now the second major security incident in the nation's capital in under 2 weeks. So was this random chaos or another sign that the temperature in the country is being pushed towards something much darker? Now, this matters to every American because when gunfire erupts near the White House, it's not just a local crime blotter story. It's a direct test of whether order still exists at the center of our republic. Now, according to the Secret Service Deputy Director Matthew Quinn, officers and agents controlling the outer perimeter of the White House complex identified a suspicious individual who appeared to have a firearm at around 3:30 this afternoon. And when they made contact, the man fled on foot, drew the weapon, and fired at agents and officers. They returned fire and struck him. And that response likely prevented something much, much worse. But let's be honest about the broader danger. President Trump's back in office, Republicans control Washington, and the left has been in full meltdown mode for months. When reckless politicians and media activists keep using language that paints their opponents as evil threats to be stopped at any cost, unstable people hear that message. The result is not just ugly rhetoric online. The result can be bullets in the capital city. And we have all of the video directly from the Secret Service. But first, while we're talking about security, there's another front where the Trump administration is moving aggressively to protect the country. This other breaking news from the White House, they just announced over $30 billion to secure America's critical mineral supply chains, named a specific Alaskan project as a key strategic asset for U.S. mineral independence. Now, I've been to the Vizsla copper drilling site in Canada myself. I've seen it with my own eyes. But what's happening in Alaska right now is bigger than most realize. See, President Trump just unveiled Project Vault, a $12 billion strategic mineral reserve designed to stockpile essential resources and keep America strong when foreign supply lines get shaky. And that is America First policy in action. Now, Vizsla Copper is getting serious attention, and investors are watching very closely. Pay attention to this, though. The company trades in the United States under VCUFF and in Canada as VCU.V. So check the exclusive briefing before the story gets even bigger. Now back to that security scare that put the White House on lockdown today. This is the part that should stop you cold. It wasn't a rumor. It wasn't online chatter. It wasn't political theater. Secret Service says agents visually identified a firearm, approached the suspect, and then the suspect fired first. Then came the lockdown, then came the hospital transport, and this happened near one of the most heavily secured places on earth. If an armed suspect can get that close and start shooting, what does that say about the level of agitation right now that's boiling over in Washington, D.C.? We've got this here from Paul Zapula. Looks like the Secret Service was fired on by a suspect near the perimeter of the White House. There was one minor injury to a young bystander, but thankfully nothing serious. It goes without saying that the gunfire near President Trump is very concerning. Democrat politicians continue with their vile and violent rhetoric, pushing more of their followers to act. Here's some of the video from the scene. You can see the police tape. This is from Nick Sortor capturing this video and posting it. Looks like it's near the Washington. Looks like it's near the Washington Monument there. You can see the heavy Secret Service presence, the National Guard presence, street lockdown. So we have this, the first reports the Secret Service agents were fired near the White House. Now this is by the Washington Monument. We have more visualization here. Shots fired near the Washington Monument, steps from the White House. U.S. Secret Service confirmed officer-involved shooting. 15th in Independence. Witness reported hearing 6 shots. So here is an aerial view of what appears to be the location, and you can see some of the action there. We also have the some more video here. An individual shot by law enforcement near the Washington Monument. White House briefly locked down. So here's some more video circulating. And imagine, like if you're there with your family, you're traveling, you're simply going to visit the nation's capital, and all of a sudden panic rings out. It triggered a White House lockdown, raising fresh concerns about security in the Capitol. Now here's the Secret Service Deputy Director, Matthew C. Quinn. He held a press conference at the scene. Listen to this.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Matt Quinn. I'm the Deputy Director at the United States Secret Service. I have Chief Richard McCauley with me, Chief of United States Secret Service Police. Approximately 3:30 this afternoon, our plainclothes officers and agents that consistently patrol the perimeter of the White House complex identified a suspicious individual that appeared to have a firearm. They called in support from our marked uniformed Secret Service police to make contact with that individual. Upon making contact, that individual fled briefly on foot, withdrew a firearm, and fired in the direction of our agents and officers. They returned fire and engaged. That individual was hit. He's since been transported to the hospital. I have no comments on his condition. I can tell you that at least only one bystander was hit by the suspect. That individual, it's a juvenile, did not sustain any life-threatening injuries, but he's also receiving treatment at the hospital. I'll point out that not long before this shooting occurred, the Vice President's motorcade did transit through this area. The investigation itself, in terms of the use of force in the shooting, will be conducted by Metropolitan Police Department. I'll pause there.
Matthew, do we know how your guys identified this person as being suspicious? Was he on a radar or just how he appeared?
No, my understanding is they observed a print, we would call it, visual print of a firearm. These are trained surveillance detection personnel out there looking every day to look for just that. Not far from the White House complex, and they observed a visual print of a firearm.
Did he attack the motorcade in any way? Did he approach it with any menace?
No, not to my knowledge.
Was there any other reason to believe not having here?
That's enough for me.
And do we know if the child who was struck was definitely struck by the shooter, by accident, perhaps by the officer?
I can't say, and we'll let the doctors figure that out, but everything I've seen leads me to believe, and the investigators believe, he was struck by the suspect.
So, Mr. Quinn, this man was spotted near the White House, but not on the property.
Correct. Not on the property. We're not far. We are, just real quick, we're not far at all. You have been here from where this incident took place.
Did you tell us exactly where he was spotted? Not here?
I can't say exactly, but they had been following him for a brief period of time before uniformed police engaged.
You mentioned he didn't
Go one at a time. Go ahead.
approach the motorcade. Was there any indication that was his intent?
No. But we will get to the bottom of that.
Did he say anything to the officers?
I'm not at liberty right now until we get.
But was there any sort of communication?
Again, I can't say right now.
Was the Vice President in the motorcade when he passed before this incident happened?
Yes.
And Matthew, we see a backpack and sneakers there. Are those the suspects or are those the kids?
I'm not sure. The backpack you probably see is our first aid trauma kit that our officers providing life care after shooting the suspect.
Do you have an age on the child that was struck? Is it male or female?
I can just tell you right now that it's a juvenile.
So do two more questions, guys. The other attempts on President Trump's life?
I'm sorry, say again?
Do you believe this is related potentially to the other recent attempts on Trump's life?
I can't say. I'm not going to guess on that. I can tell you that every time, one, we're patrolling this area and every site we do, 24/7, hardcore. Whether or not it was directed to the president or not, I don't know, but we will find out.
Weapon recovered?
Yes.
And Matthew,
One last question, guys.
I'm going to hold on that.
And Matthew,
What's the condition?
I'm sorry, real quick. This
Do
lady.
you believe that the man who was shot by this?
I don't know specifically, so I'm going to not tell you. An adult man.
And Matthew, can you just confirm it was not a uniformed Secret Service officer, but a plainclothes, and was it a male officer? Or the agent, male agent?
That first
That
man.
fired the shot.
No, I can confirm with you it was uniformed Secret Service police officers that engaged the suspect.
But it was a plainclothes who made the first visual.
Yes, sir. Deputy, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone.
Plainclothes making the first visual. Wow. So, you heard the official timeline. Agents saw the firearm, suspect fled, opened fire at the officers. A clean breakdown of the facts. Officer saw the suspicious person, visually saw the gun, started following. The person tried to flee before shooting at Secret Service officer, then returned fire. So identified initially by a plainclothes. The bystander, the juvenile struck by the gunfire. Child suffered non-life-threatening injuries. Not immediately clear if this was an assassination attempt on President Trump. We have this, the latest outside reporting. Let's see what this says. Deputy Director, Secret Service says that their officers saw someone suspicious outside the White House, visually saw a gun, started following, was hit. The child was hit by gunfire. So that's what we know so far. So the big truth tonight is very simple. The political temperature is no longer theoretical, it is operational. 2 major incidents in under 2 weeks in the same city with President Trump back in the White House is not a normal pattern. The establishment media will try to flatten this into just another breaking alert and then move on, but of course we will not. Secret Service did its job exactly right: identify the threat, confront the threat, and stop the threat. See, that's the good news. The bad news is America is dealing with a radicalized climate where anti-Trump hatred is constantly fed by desperate Democrats, activists, commentators, and the same machine that treats fury as a campaign strategy. If leaders keep pouring fuel on that fire, more unstable people may decide to act. So tonight, the immediate facts are clear. Shots fired near the White House, an armed suspect engaged by Secret Service. The suspect struck a juvenile bystander, injured, but thankfully expected to be okay. And the White House is secure. Now, that is a win for the professionals who stood their ground and protected the seat of American power under President Trump, but the deeper lesson is bigger than just an incident. America cannot pretend this level of political hatred is harmless when it keeps spilling out into real life. So I want to hear from you. Do you believe Democrat rhetoric is making political violence more likely? Yes or no? Put your answer in the comments right now. Share this report everywhere. Subscribe if you haven't, and text raw feed that's to the number on the screen, 844-840-4963. That's how you beat the algorithm and get direct alerts to your phone that YouTube never sends directly from me. And check out the Next News merch shelf below this video. Stay alert, stay loud, and stand proudly for law and order and America first.
The system controls information. Information control is power.
They don't want you to see this.
The truth only survives together. They don't want this shared. Share this now. You know out.